All right, green belts, here we go. Self-defense techniques for you for this testing curriculum is going to be 3 basic self-defense techniques. Very important. We're gonna do the guillotine choke defense, the standing headlock defense, and the club defense. So a lot of times in a fight, maybe you're defending against the bad guy's punches and you come in to grab the bad guy to stop their punches, and in the middle of that, you get your head too low and they wrap the head and they choke you with what we call the guillotine choke. So this is a very common choke to get caught in a fight because headlocks are very common in a fight. So that's why we're going to focus on the 2 most common types of headlocks for your curriculum. So let's look at the guillotine choke. I'm going to switch sides here real quick. So here's what's basically going to happen. As the bad guy wraps my neck, I'm going to reach the hand on the same side that they're choking me with and grab the wrist. I'm pulling down on the wrist with a thumbless grip. I'm hooking that wrist and pulling down. My other arm is going to go over his shoulder. So very deep over his shoulder, like I'm trying to reach all the way down to his belt as far as I can. Now from there, as he lifts, he's basically lifting my whole weight up. Look, he's holding my whole weight up. So he's not choking me at all. As he lifts, I'm going to jump to the non-choking side. Very important detail. If you jump to the choking side, it's going to make it even tighter. So make sure as he lifts to choke you that you jump away from the choke. From there, let's rotate please. Right there, perfect. From there, I'm going to use my back knee to pop the back of his knee. I'm going to use this arm to drive his shoulder downward. So I'm here, I pull down the arm, I hug the shoulder, I jump away from the choke, I pop the knee, drive the shoulder, and now I'm going to shuffle my feet this direction. Oh. Now, at this point, he still has the lock. So I need to get him to let go of the headlock. So here's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my top hand, push his head away, grab the far shoulder, and drive all of my weight onto this arm that's on his neck. And as I put that pressure, he's going to want to let go. But just in case, my other hand that is still on his wrist is going to rip the arm away. So here's what that part looks like. I'm here, I push the face across, I grab the shoulder, this hand is ready to pull on the arm, and I drive my weight as I pull his hand free. So go very, very slowly with the guillotine choke defense. Make sure you hit all of those details. And if you have any questions, make sure you let me know because there are a lot of little details in this technique. Now, another very common headlock type move to be caught in a fight is just the standard headlock, okay? Maybe I've got him here in the fight, I've clinched up on him, and he gets me in this side headlock. I get a little bit too far to his side. So, in this case, he could punch me in the face, he could drag me to the ground and hit me, so all kinds of bad things could happen. So here's how I'm going to defend the standing headlock. Boom, 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 and on top, okay? So let's break that down. I'm right here. My back arm is going to hug his hip. Hug the hip very, very deep right here, boom. My front hand is going to block the knee. My back foot is going to step up, and my front foot is going to step on the middle, in between his legs. Now, if you'll look at my feet, both of my feet are pointing in the opposite direction of the bad guy's feet. This foot is right beside his foot. My other foot is in the middle. So I'm here, hug the hip, block the knee, watch the step. As I step, I turn my foot. So now my heel is pointing this direction. I step the other foot in, and I'm going to sit right in front of the bad guy. And with this arm, I'm going to pull his hip around. So as I sit, I pull. As we go down, I throw my other leg over. My back arm goes into his neck because he's still got this headlock. I put my hand on my own wrist, and I lean my weight into his neck until he lets go. Very good. The biggest challenge of this is to do it in one fluid motion. Don't stop the spin. Once you start to turn and you step in the middle of the bad guy and go to sit, that's all one fluid motion. Pull the hip, get him to spin, and you'll be okay. One more really important detail, the hand that's hugging the hip, it's gonna tuck as they fall to the ground. So I'm here, hug the hip, block the knee, step, step, sit, and as he goes, watch this arm. Watch this arm. We spin and I tuck. Boom. I tuck that elbow so that he doesn't land on my arm and get my arm trapped. So very important detail to include, okay? Now, one final technique for the green belt is the club defense. So the bad guy has the club, okay? We're standing here talking. I'm trying to calm him down. He steps back to strike, and I've got to do something, okay? So I'm gonna step in, I'm gonna block, catch, come underneath, slide, pull it under his arm, and shuffle away. So the bad guy has the club, and as he comes into block, as he comes into hit, so we're here, he's just kind of standing normal. He has 2 steps to happen. He has to step back to get ready to load the strike, and then he has to actually initiate the strike all the way down. I only have 1 step towards the bad guy and block. So as he steps back, I step in and block. So this is kind of like a high block, okay? Very similar to a high block. Once I block, immediately I'm gonna slide my hand down and catch or hook his wrist, again with a thumbless grip. From there, I'm gonna come up in the middle, in the peak, all right? The peak of the mountain. My arm is gonna come up in the peak of the mountain. I grab the stick by his hand, by the bad guy's hand, and then slide down towards the end. From there, I'm gonna pull the stick under his arm. The closer I pull the stick to his body, the more leverage I'm gonna have to rip it out of his hands. And then from there, I shuffle away to make some distance, and now I have a weapon to protect myself. So practice these techniques, guys, and if you have any difficulty, let me know, or Mr. Morris know, and we'd be glad to help you any way we can. Thanks, guys. Work hard.